Council member, would you like to make any announcements?
Yes, sir. Just want to make sure everybody had a great Easter, nice and safe. We had a little bit of a emergency Friday night at OU, so thank God that all worked out the way it did, and that was just a swatting because it could have been a whole lot worse. But the police presence that showed up, thank you guys, because that was an amazing response. My next announcement is I got to meet with Mr. Jason Olson on Friday, who's our director of Parks and Rec. Told me all about what they do, all 67 parks here in Norman. I can't remember exactly how many acres, but it's a lot. We may be the city of festivals, but we got to be the city of parks too. And if you look at the city's webpage for Parks and Rec, it says, City of Norman Parks and Rec is dedicated to providing fun and engaging parks and recreational activities for the citizens of Norman. Well, this right here is Francis Cape Park. If you look to the north there, you can see our brand new soccer fields. And that right there is our about a one-year-old $150,000 workout equipment. If you look north, you can see what's left of Griffin, an abandoned building. You can see the pavilion being used to house, 3 or 4 shopping carts, a tent set up inside there, and trash everywhere around it. On our actual court, that's human feces. So if you did want to go work out, you're probably not going to work out there. And so that's what $150,000 here in Norman is getting us right now. Here's another picture of Francis Cape. This is the basketball courts. So if your kids want to go play basketball, they're not playing there. This is the exact same place. You can't hardly see it, but this individual right here has about, I'd say about a 10-inch Bowie knife strapped to his waist. Now, that's his right, but if he's living on the streets, I don't think that's a very good, safe place for him to be with that knife. And just so you know, our police are now on the lookout for this individual because he was on Main Street at a stopped train with his shirt off, waving that knife at a train while there was individuals parked there. And if I would have been in my car with my family, with an individual waving a knife at a train, I would have been a little worried. So there's another picture of our parks. Here's a picture of the pavilion over at Andrews. This was taken on April 3rd. Here's the same picture, or the same pavilion on April 4th. There's even more people there. All the shopping carts that were there the previous days back, all the items this person's collected up is still there. Me and my girls last Sunday, not Easter, but the Sunday before, we did a park cleanup over at Colonial Estates. This is what my 8-year-old almost picked up. This is a picture of tinfoil that either had methamphetamine, fentanyl, or heroin smoked off of it. We all know what a minuscule amount of these substances can do when they come into contact with adults. I just thank God that I was there to actually pick that up and make sure my 8-year-old didn't. This picture was taken off of Main Street behind Sinclair's, where there was a homeless encampment set up. What they were doing is they were plugging their extension cords into the back of Sinclair's. This overheated the extension cords and burnt down quite a bit back there. That was the aftermath of it. I know an elderly woman, she's 89 years old. She lives in the neighborhood right behind there. She recently contacted me and said that she's had numerous individuals knock on her door asking to go through her backyard. This is before she built a big privacy fence, so she has no view anymore. But at least she doesn't have to worry about individuals going through her backyard to get to their camp spots. This right here is off 12th and 24th and Alameda in a little green space. It's right next to Royal Oaks. There is a creek that runs about 25 feet from here. This creek, here's another picture of it. The creek feeds right into the pond at Summit Lakes, and it keeps on flowing into the Canadian and on down to our lake. So when we say that this isn't a problem, it's a very big problem in our city. I've got numerous emails in just the past few days. I have videos of individuals defecating on storefronts. I have a doctor that just called me today whose rent house had 9 squatters inside of it. Every room had feces on the floor. It's a travesty. The spot on 24th and Alameda, that's owned by a private individual. Who gets to clean that up? He does. Even though we're the ones that allow this to happen in our city, you all are the ones that's going to be held responsible for cleaning up all this mess because the city won't do anything about it. So if you want something done about it, you need to contact everybody up here and let them know that instead of paying for a temporary warming shelter in the summertime, As asinine as that sounds, we are paying for a temporary warming shelter in the summertime. We all need to find real solutions and actually put some things on the agenda to get this problem solved now, because it's not going away and it's just going to get a whole lot worse the longer we wait. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Schuler?
Sure. I think